Tony, welcome to Government.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on? What? All right, you go in, Tony. Good.
Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey, Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Telling all your friends the party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. I'm gonna get my sticks. The mic is live and clear. for you and all to hear. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
They suck.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry, the sound is working. I just did not turn the mics on yet because we were talking. Yep, turn the sound on. Turn the sound on. My daily reminder. So good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the YouTube channel. Thanks for watching this morning. You're right over there.
What? I'm not doing anything.
Mike is here, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you today?
Everything's fine. Everything's going to plan. Not my plan, but
Somebody's plan.
somebody's plan.
Let me see here. I think I need to make. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, why are you doing that? Can I tell you a quick joke?
Yeah, of course.
Why did the flower stop riding his bicycle?
Why did the flower stop riding its bicycle?
Mm-hmm.
It lost its pedals.
I knew you would know. I
Oh.
knew you would know.
I'm shocked that I'm usually not that smart. Although that wasn't a hard one, but
Yeah.
it stopped using it lost its pedals.
I actually invented that joke just driving the other day.
Really?
And I was thinking of, because every day I text Jennifer a joke, right? Or
Oh, do you?
something, right? Or audio, whatever. And I'm like, wow, it's like 2 in the afternoon or something. And I'm like, I got to think of a joke. And it popped in my head.
Nice.
Wow, I must have taken extra vitamin that morning.
A few years back, so let's see, it's February 2020, 25 rather. So it's been 5 years. We're a few weeks away from 5 years since Shevlin stopped doing this show. So it had to be, so it's probably like 2019 probably.
Mm-hmm.
Eric and I were in here, and back then we were doing 2 hours a day, so it was 1 o'clock. One of the owners, James, this was during the summer, James comes running in here. As soon as we finish the show, he goes, guys, I got a camp. I got some camps. We're doing a daytime show for kids in the club here. He goes, the room is packed. He goes, there's a magician going. He goes, but they hate him. He's dying. And sure enough, we can hear them like yelling and even booing.
Yeah.
He goes, I need you guys to go out there and do something. Now, this was before I had done any stand-up. Eric had tried stand-up maybe like 20 years ago. I think he did like 2 shows or something. So we were like, what? You want us to do something? He goes, yeah, go out there and do anything. I'm like, what the fuck? I go, when? He goes, you got about 15 minutes. So both of us are panicking. We're like, and he said, he goes, I'll pay you. He says, but you got to go out there. Like,
Right.
It wasn't even a negotiation. He was like, you guys are going out there.
Yeah.
She's like, what the hell do we do? We were like, I was panicked. And we were going back and forth, and Eric said something about like dad jokes, and that's when it hit me. I said, okay. I said, dad jokes suck. Yeah, I don't know what's going on out there. I go, dad jokes suck. I said, so let's have a contest. Let them vote on which one of us will take turns telling bad dad jokes. Let them vote on who's telling the worst jokes.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, yeah, that's a good idea. We went out there, and it killed. They loved it.
Oh, yeah.
And they were cheering. And
How old were they were kids?
They were like 12, 13-year-olds.
Okay.
And I didn't hide it. I pulled my phone right out, and I Googled dad jokes. I was just reading straight from my phone.
Yeah.
And I actually have video of it. I think I may have put it on YouTube. And Eric, I forget what the question was, but he asked the kids, why did the bike lose its pedal? Like he asked,
right.
He set up the premise of the joke. I forget what the joke was, but he asked the question. Kid right in the front row, this loud, obnoxious little brat. He said something about having a giant penis. And I'm trying to remember if he said penis or cock. I think he said penis, I think. But he said something about giant penis. We're like, what the? And you could see like he was getting a laugh, so he was obnoxious and trying to get upstage us the whole time.
Yeah.
So we did this for 20 minutes. I won, which I still rub in Eric's face to this day. But he got revenge. We come off, and we were in the green room. We're just looking at each other.
How long did you have to do this went on?
We were told to do, I think, around 10 to 15 minutes, but we ended up doing 20. Thankfully, that was plenty, because then I think that's why we even got off the stage, because somebody said something about the buses were outside.
Oh.
We come into the green room, and we just look at each other like, what the hell did we just do? Like, like the whole shock of it all was starting to settle in. But then so if you're in the green room, all you got to do is there's a door, then a curtain, and you're on stage.
Yeah.
It's direct access from the green room. So I go, I forget why, but I open the door and the curtain again, and I'm looking out there, and Eric comes from behind me, pushes me. I go flying back onto the stage, and I almost fall because I'm stumbling with the leg and all, and I almost fall, but I didn't completely fall, but my face was close to the ground. But as I'm going to the ground, there's this little kid, the same kid. He's laying on the floor of the stage. He's just laying there. So we came face to face with each other. So I took full advantage of the opportunity. So we're now face to face like this. And I go, get off the stage, like that. Scared the shit out of this kid. He didn't move. He couldn't move fast enough.
Yeah.
And you saw it all over his face. He was freaked out. That was the biggest laugh I had of the afternoon. But why did I tell this story?
I have no idea.
Oh, because you told me your dad joke basically is what you did.
Yeah, it's a dad joke that I just pulled out of my keister.
So, yeah, that's what made me think of that story, was telling bad dad jokes.
That's a great story, Tony.
Hey, please share this show on all your social media links. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows on govscomedyclub.com.
Especially Wednesdays.
Govs Comedy Club Podcast. What?
And what?
What? John and Ann are watching. Nice to see you guys. Where is everybody? There's not a lot of people watching. What happened?
Nothing. I can't tell you.
Oh, okay. Ann got off the hook yesterday. Diane was not here, so I had to put off. I had to put calling Ann up. I had to put that off because I promised Diane I would do that when she's here.
Yeah.
To find out about Ann's excursions when
her morning shenanigans.
Her morning shenanigans. Yep. Okay. So
what did you do? How did you do the trivia?
I just did it myself, and we had a good amount of people watching yesterday. So we just did it that way.
Awesome.
Yeah, I prefer to have somebody in the studio all the time, but lots of snow outside. If you look, you'll see Eric shoveling. Oh, Fremda.
When you said shoveling, I was going to try to do a little pun on shoveling. But on that note, I followed your footsteps because why? This is a very popular comedy establishment, right?
Correct.
Why is the back not shoveled for us not to kill ourselves?
Because we're the only two walking back there. There's nobody else.
I followed your footsteps. Your feet are bigger than mine.
What size shoe are you?
9.
Oh yeah. I'm just 10.5.
Well, you know what they say about men with big shoes.
They have big feet.
Exactly.
That's not where you were going?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Peter Schwartz of Sports Bash, size 13.
13?
Yeah.
Well, he's a big fella.
He is a big dude.
Yeah.
He had some guests in here yesterday, and he was trying to mooch some merchandise off of them. He said he takes a 5X. Now,
come on. No,
I
don't believe that.
He said that live on the air, so I'm not gossiping or giving anything away. But
he doesn't look like that
he doesn't
big
look
of a
that
man.
big to me, but he is a big dude.
Maybe he likes things baggy.
Could be.
Yeah.
And then he was wearing this hoodie like you're wearing, but it was a Yankees hoodie. He said he was in Marshall's last week. He found it for $20.
Come on.
That's what he said.
I will tell you this: Marshalls. People usually have a love-hate relationship with Marshalls.
Do they?
I love Marshalls because you're always going to find a hidden gem if you're patient.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Which is how we found that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And why do they? What do you mean they have a love-hate relationship with
Some
Marshalls?
people hate it because they go in there and they can't find anything, and they just get frustrated and like, I'm never going to this fucking place again.
Oh.
I like Marshalls.
How are you up on all this Marshalls information? You've
Well,
had conversations. You've done your research on
I
this.
have done my research. But,
Really?
But coming from very humble beginnings,
Yes.
you know, my mother used to buy us 59-cent sneakers at Sneaker Circus on Suffolk Avenue in Central Islip. So at a very young age, I was going to Marshalls. And we had to be patient because we couldn't spend a lot of money. And I would always find good things.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that thrilling?
It was right up there with my story, I guess. Yeah. Uh-oh, another friender. Yes, that's true, friender. So he says, Eric wishes he could still be me, because his on his Facebook page under the about stuff, it still says he's the executive producer of Knockem Dead.
Oh, really?
Which he's not. And then it says, enough about me, how about you? Which he did steal from me. That's what I have on my bio on Facebook.
Say that again, please.
It like you have that little area, put in all this information about yourself.
Right.
So, and I mean, of course, I have listed all my shit, which I hate. Like, I feel like I don't know. It's just too much, I guess. But somewhere in there, I wrote, enough about me, how are you? So if you go to my Facebook, like before you click about, there's just a few items right there.
Yeah.
So that's what you see. Enough about me, how about you?
I like it.
Shevlin did the same exact thing.
Oh, he did.
And yes, I did do it first.
Wait, may I interject? So, Knockem Dead Comedy is your company, correct?
I run it, yes.
You run it. So, why is he on it? Because he's not involved any longer. Correct?
That's Fremder's point, is that he has not
still
updated.
on there.
Eric, yeah, he's been gone
A year?
over a year. October of 23 was the last time he performed. And probably around a year ago was the last time he had any dealings with the company. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So he's living, I would say, 75-80% of the time in South Carolina. So good for him. The president is trying to get rid of pennies. Where am I supposed to shop? J.C. Nichols? Oh
God.
Ay.
I like that joke.
You like that? Yeah, that is right up your alley. Yeah,
my alley.
Are there even J.C. Penney's anymore?
The one in the Smith Haven Mall closed, I believe.
Yeah, I believe the one in Hicksville closed. I think his name should be Eric. I wish I was as cool as Tony Shevlin. All right.
He got a good night's sleep last night.
Yeah, Fremder's cranking this morning.
Yeah, Mr. Andrew
I'm sure he's
Fremder.
cranking.
Yeah,
I know. I realized what I said. I'm like, oh man. All right, but we're going to now talk about Romeo Rusiello. Romeo contacted you this morning, contacted me this morning.
Correct.
And believe me, I was already prepared for what he contacted us about. I was already up on this information. The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominations came out. I think it was late last night it came out. First off, sticking with the music thing, we talked yesterday about Paul McCartney yesterday announcing a surprise concert at the Bowery Ballroom in New York City last night. He announced it during our show. I think it was around noon. And the only way you can get tickets was that you had to actually go to the Bowery Ballroom, and you could only get one ticket per person. And the show was the show was 6 o'clock last night. Well, this morning he announced he's doing it again tonight. And same thing. You can only go to the Bowery Ballroom to get your tickets, and it's only one ticket per person. So
do you know the info, like how much a ticket is?
It was only $50.
That's it. And how many people does that place hold?
600.
And only $50 a person.
Yep.
So obviously he's not doing this for the money, because he doesn't need the money anyway.
Oh, of course no. He's a billionaire.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
And that's what I love about him. Well, so many things, but stuff like that. Like he obviously does not need the money. Let me go have some fun and do a surprise concert.
And he's in his early 80s.
He I think he'll be 83 this year, I believe.
Wow, so he's still going at it.
I'll tell you, I'm just not the man he is. But obviously, being a vegetarian obviously makes a difference. That guy is in tremendous shape.
Yeah.
He's still, making music, doing concerts. Like he's, you would think he's in his 40s.
Well,
he is still.
Everybody knows diet is a big part of when you look at older people like that.
Well, but he's been a vegetarian, I think, since the early 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And so the early 70s, so he'd be around 30 somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're talking 50 years.
50 years.
Of doing the right thing by his body.
Not eating meat.
Yeah, and Ringo too. Ringo has been a vegetarian, I think, since the late 80s, if I have my timeline right. And same thing. I mean, he's older than Paul.
Oh, he's older.
And he just put out a new album. He's touring right now. And I mean, same thing. He seems like he's in tremendous shape, that guy. Ringo Starr, he was just on Jimmy Kimmel last week. Ringo Starr has never had pizza. That's what he said. He said he's allergic to some of the ingredients, so he can't have it. He was, and it's well documented, he's talked about it many times, when he was a kid growing up, he spent most of his time in hospitals.
Oh, he did? Oh, he was
he's just
very ill kid?
very ill. That's how he discovered the drums. He was laying in his hospital bed in a big room with other sick kids. He goes, and they would always come up with like arts and crafts and different things to keep the kids occupied and happy. He said, and the lady walked in with like a child drum set, but she just handed like a cymbal to a kid, one drum to this kid, and he found himself, hitting it, and he just like immediately took to it, and eventually got like the whole drum set, and that's how he discovered drums.
Wow.
But
where is he ranked in the top 10?
Well, I think it depends on the list, but he's always in the top 10.
Yeah.
Most lists that I look at, he's within the top 3.
Top 3.
He's not fancy.
No, I know.
And showy.
Yeah.
But you talk to any musician, and they'll tell you nobody keeps a beat like he does, and nobody's in the groove like he is.
Right.
And he'll say that about himself. He goes, I'm not a flashy, fancy drummer. He goes, but I know how to keep time.
Yes. I have a trivia, not a trivia question, a trivia statement.
All right.
I remember watching an interview with Paul McCartney, and Paul McCartney and I guess it was John Lennon, they were auditioning drummers. Ringo Starr walks in, maybe you can confirm it, and they said, can you play, he was on the drum kit, and they said, can you do this? And it was a fancy term for a drum solo. And they said he was unbelievable at it. And that's how he won the job, got hired for the Beatles.
I've never heard that story.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe they were having a conversation with him and they asked him to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I know that's not how he got the gig.
It's not.
No, he never auditioned for the Beatles. The Beatles would be playing gigs, and Ringo was in another band, and they'd be on the same bill a lot. So the bands would cross paths, and they became friends, and they did see how great he was, and like, oh, we would love to have that guy sometime.
Yeah.
And their drummer, Pete Best, once in a while, if he couldn't make a gig, Ringo was one of the guys they would call and say, hey, are you available? And he did sit in with them from time to time. And then when it came time, they had reasons that they wanted to fire Pete Best. That's when they said, well, before we fire Pete Best, let's see if Ringo's available, because he's the best drummer in Liverpool, where they were from.
Yeah.
They called him, and he said, well, when do you want me? He said yes. He said, but when? And they said, tonight. And he said, no, I'm not doing it tonight. He said, I have some gigs coming up with the band I'm in. I'm not going to screw them like that.
Right.
So I think it was like 3 days or 5 days notice that he gave this band. And then, then they went and told Pete Best, you're out. And then Ringo, so he never auditioned for them.
Never auditioned.
So, but again, they shared the bill at a lot of places. So maybe it was just like a backstage conversation, hanging out, jamming or something. Maybe it was something like that.
It was a pretty cool conversation.
Now, Phil Collins, when he auditioned for Genesis, he showed up an hour early for his audition. So they told him, hey, there's other people here ahead of you on the list. Excuse me. They were at Peter Gabriel's childhood home, and he had a pool. So they said, why don't you just go have a swim while you're waiting? So Phil jumps in the pool, but he's there for the hour, so he listened to what the band was telling all these drummers to do. So by the time he got up there, I mean, he just totally aced it, and they were amazed. But meanwhile, he's like, yeah, you morons, I've been here for an hour. I've just been listening to what you wanted. So in his head, he already had it, like he knew exactly what he had to do. It was like rehearsing for an hour. So, yeah, he went in and totally nailed it.
What's wild is I thought Phil Collins was Genesis.
No, they put out 2 albums before he was even in the band. It was Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel.
And then, Phil was he was just a drummer for a few years, and then when Gabriel left, they auditioned other singers. They were like, they weren't feeling it. And then Phil was like, all right, well, I'd like to sing lead for this album, for these new songs we wrote. But he still didn't want to be the lead guy. He still wanted to play drums. And they're like, well, you're singing. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So, so he had to, like, figure out how to be a front man.
Yeah.
And he became a great front man, in my opinion, but it took him a long time to kind of hone those skills. But, I always thought that was an interesting story. Like, you just, like, somebody in the band is replacing the lead singer. Like, you don't get a new guy. You just, like, it's just, it's something that you don't really see much. Let's see. His name should be, I read that already. I'm a vegetarian, says Fremder, because the steak I eat is grass-fed. Ringo Starr, another name for taking a shit that looks like the Play-Doh maker. What?
Wait, what?
Another name for taking a shit that looks like the Play-Doh maker.
Well,
I don't get that. Is he saying Ringo Starr is ugly?
He's not an ugly man.
Is there like a character, the Play-Doh maker, that looks like Ringo? Yeah, the Play-Doh maker. Yeah, it's just that contraption. Yeah. So,
yeah.
I guess he's trying to say Ringo is ugly. Okay. But he's in better shape than you and me. I'll tell you that. So anyway, sorry. That was a long story.
Wow.
The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have been announced.
Besides the one, I'm interested to see who's on there.
Mariah Carey. Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker?
How is he not in already? But yeah, Chubby Checker.
Wow.
Joy Division or New Water. It's the same band,
Uh-huh.
which I don't really know much about. Cyndi Lauper.
I think she should be in.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
She was one of the faces of the 80s.
Yes. There's a band that I never even heard of nominated.
You?
Mana.
Huh?
M-A-N-A.
Mana?
I have no idea. I think it's a Spanish band. I have no idea. I've never heard of them. Oasis. Not a fan. Outkast.
Oh, Outkast with a K?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish.
Fish. They've been around a long time.
Yeah. The White Stripes.
The White Stripes.
Jack White. Yeah, they're all right, I guess. Soundgarden. Billy Idol.
Billy Idol's not in?
No.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. The Black Crowes. And one, which I've said it many times on this show when we talk about this, that this band should have been in a long time ago. Bad Company, which in my opinion they're a shoo-in. And then Joe Cocker. Joe Cocker, have I not been talking about Joe Cocker and fighting with Romeo about that?
All right, so let me ask you a question. I've been dying to ask you a question.
Sure.
What is the parameters first to be nominated and then to actually get in? Isn't it a 25-year rule?
Your first record, it has to be at least 25 years since your first recording.
Okay.
And then from there, I don't know how you get nominated, but then voting is a little bit of the public, but it's mostly columnists and reviewers and journalists.
So it probably can get political.
Oh, I think it's been political for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, I don't know this for fact, but it's become a television event where, when the first 20 years at least, it was, they started putting it on TV, but it wasn't like they didn't tailor it around TV. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't run it like a TV special. Where now it's totally, run like a for TV.
Yeah.
I think that.
Oh, God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Jesus, good God.
Excuse me. I
you,
think
my
that's
God.
part of it now too. I think the TV executives are now thinking, all right, how do we put together a good list, so that people will watch.
Yeah.
Like I think Mariah Carey's going to get in because a lot of people will watch to see her. Although I don't think she should be in personally, but
if you think about it, you could probably argue each one. Just having a little background in singing, she's one of the rare people who had like an eight octave range. I don't know the parameters. Is it 25 years since she had a recording?
Oh yeah, she came.
But
out.
I think
I want to
she's
say
a couple
1990
years
or
younger than
91.
me.
I think she's my age, if
She's
I'm not mistaken.
55, 57, whatever. 55. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I want to say 90, 91.
You know what town
was
she's
her
from?
first Greenlawn.
Very good, sir.
Yep. Excuse me. Our
It's all right, everybody. Emphysema.
yeah, our buddy Joe DeJesu, who used to have a show in here and comes in here regularly, he grew up with her, and you can actually. I don't remember the name of the song. I'm not a Mariah Carey fan, but one of her early hits from the early '90s, he's actually in the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in it throughout, but you can't really see him too well. But then there's one shot where you're like, oh yeah, that could be him.
Yeah.
It's a quick shot of him running past the camera, but
Well, I
you
think
see
she
his
gets
face.
maybe a bad rap because I think on a personal level she's a
known to
dick. Yeah.
And I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. She's definitely talented. In her prime, what a singing voice. But I don't. It's to me, it's just you think it's a rock and roll Hall of Fame. Like I'm not. I just don't associate a rock and roll Hall of Fame with Mariah Carey. She's not rock and roll to me.
She was pop.
But Madonna's in, Cher is in, so I guess with that in mind, then I guess she makes it. I think she's a shoo-in either way just because of her level of popularity. Yeah. Chubby Checker, to me, that's a no-brainer. Who should have been
he had
in
one
long
of the
ago.
biggest hits ever.
Right, in the early days. Joy Division, New Order, I couldn't tell you a single thing about them. I've heard of them. I couldn't tell you anything about them. Cyndi Lauper.
What people don't realize about Cyndi Lauper is obviously she was the face of the 80s, big face of the 80s and early 90s. But she wrote a Broadway show. She's, Kinky Boots.
Yeah.
I've been a big fan of hers since I'm a kid.
No, I always thought she was a great singer. I always thought she was very funny.
Very funny.
Part of me wished that she didn't get crazy with like the makeup and stuff because I always thought she's a good-looking woman. I always thought she was really a very pretty woman.
Very pretty, yeah.
Her and Annie Lennox. Like when Annie Lennox first came out with the Eurythmics and used to all the crazy stuff, I'm like, let us see your face. Like Annie Lennox, I always thought she's beautiful. And another one, what a great voice.
Yeah, great voice.
Another one who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The Eurythmics are in, but she's not as a solo artist.
Well, I guess she hasn't hit that 25-year mark.
Yeah.
Solo-wise.
No, she has.
She has.
Oh, yeah. Yep. She's right around 30 years.
The Eurythmics are in, but she's not by herself.
And believe me, I have my list of people that should be in that still aren't in. But I'm still going through this. So, yeah, like I said, Mana, I have no idea who they are. Oasis, I don't think they should be in. Well, I don't know. Maybe they should. And England, they're huge.
They're huge. Popular, I know.
They're popular here. Who was here? Somebody was just here telling me they're going to see them. And they're playing, I think it's MetLife Stadium. So that is big.
That's big if they could, if they're playing in a stadium.
I don't know. I was never a big fan. Outkast, sorry. I can name 2 songs.
I can't name one.
They're the ones that did Hey Ya.
Oh, that.
Hey Ya. Yeah, that's Outkast. So,
but this is just nominations. When do you find out who actually?
I think it's not for a couple of months yet.
Couple months.
Fish, I think, should be in. They were very big in their day. They're like a Grateful Dead jam band type. The White Stripes, I don't know a lot about them, but I know they were big in their day and they're regarded heavily with guitar players and stuff. Soundgarden, yeah, no brainer. Chris Cornell, what a voice that guy had.
Yeah, they should be a shoo-in, I think.
Yeah. Billy Idol, I think, is a shoo-in.
How could he not be in?
Yeah, I mean, he's over 40 years already. He again, another huge face of the 80s.
Yeah.
The Black Crowes, I think, are a shoo-in. I love those guys. I saw them in
I thought they were a great band.
1992. I saw them at CW Post. What a freaking show! What a great freaking.
Are they
and they're
still together?
They've been off and on through the years, but they're currently together. And yeah, the Chris Robinson, the lead singer, can still belt it out there. Great, just a great, solid, like in your face, Rolling Stones type, raw, cool, great tunes. And then Bad Company. I mean, to me, don't you know that you are a shooting star? Feel like making love. Can't get enough of your love. The song Bad Company. Rock Steady. I mean, how are these guys? These guys.
I don't know. And their guitar player, I thought, was outstanding.
Yeah, Mick Ralphs.
I don't know how. Who?
His name is Mick Ralphs.
Mick Ralphs.
Paul Rogers.
Are they English?
Yeah, Paul Rogers is the lead singer. Again, one of the best lead singers ever. He's also the guy who sang All Right Now. Which
really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very underrated singer. Now, a lot of people don't know that this guy, Paul Rogers, sang a bunch of great hits.
How come they're not in yet?
That's what I like to know.
That's why it's political. Everything in this country is fucking political, isn't it?
And then, of course, Joe Cocker. His version of With a Little Help from My Friends. His version of Feeling All Right. His version of My Baby Wrote Me a Letter. His You Are So Beautiful to Me.
The duet with Jennifer Warren.
The Lift Is Up Where We Belong.
The lift.
Right? Isn't that what it's called?
Up where we belong.
Where's
a good trivia question? Because I think that was a theme to a movie.
Yes, it was.
Right?
I don't remember what movie.
I don't remember what movie either, but that's...
was it Officer and a Gentleman?
Oh, possibly. If you got that, man, that's pretty good.
Oh, I did. There's Richard Gere.
Wow, you pulled that out of your ass.
Yes,
huh?
I did.
Wow, nice job.
Up Where We Belong, 1983, Joe Cocker and Jennifer Warnes. Oh, she also sang Jennifer Warnes with I've Had the Time of My Life.
For the Patrick Swayze movie?
Dirty Dancing. Yeah, that was her and Bill Medley from the Righteous Brothers.
The Righteous Brothers are in there, right?
I think they are. They should. Oh, yes, I'm almost positive they are. Yeah, they were great, too. But, yeah, Joe Cocker, I mean, so many. I'm leaving out a ton of hits. He did a version of the Beatles. She Came In Through the Bathroom Window. That was a big hit for him.
And he's English, right?
He's English, and he's also dead.
I know, 2014 he died.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh. Mike's shirt looks like MASH.
What does that mean?
MASH, the TV show. It looks like the color of their clothes and their tents. Like it's almost that shade of green.
May I ask who made that comment?
Do you need to ask?
Either Fremder or Romeo.
Yeah, Fremder.
Oh. This is not Army Green. Not even close, Andrew.
All right, calm down. He's just, making
I understand when it comes to the military, you know how I feel. And there's something else I got to bring up about the military.
Okay.
We don't have to do it now because we're talking music.
All right. Yeah, let's hold it because I had a military thing myself. So let's finish on this. Fremder, I'm pretty sure Queen's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Carol Miner. Annie Lennox is an anti-Semite. I'm not a fan. She is?
Wow, that's news to me.
I had no idea. I never heard that before. I don't know a lot about her. I enjoy her music, but I've never heard that. All right. If he's calling to complain about Joe Cocker, I might reach to that phone and smack him in the face.
I had a military thing myself. So let's finish on
turn that down.
I'm trying. Take it easy. Take it easy. All right. Now, I got to ask you, gentlemen, a question.
Sure.
Forget about Joe Crocker, scumbag, whatever he is. However he was, he said, all right, piece of shit. All right, but I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
In your opinion, and you're a music aficionado. in your opinion, who was the best solo drummer ever made?
Well, you say solo drummer. Are you saying best drum solo?
Yeah, no. Solo drummer.
I'm not sure what that means.
Or just drummer in
Okay.
general?
He didn't play in a band. He never played in a band. He had a band, but he never played in a band. But he was famous. There was 2 or 3 guys that were famous for their solo performances.
Oh, so you're talking like they were like the drummers were the band leaders, like they were the
Right,
focal point, like Buddy
right,
Rich.
Okay. All right. Who was the other one?
Gene Krupke.
Gene Cooper. Very good. It was Gene Cooper and Buddy Rich. In 1982, Buddy Rich played Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
John Lucio was very involved in that performance as a security level.
Yeah.
And he had a bus. And he was traveling on his tour by bus. And I asked him, in his opinion, who was the best drummer besides you? And he said, Ringo Starr.
Come on, really?
Wow.
I swear on my mother's grave.
Wow.
He said that man is one of the best drummers. And Cooper was his rival. They were always competing with one another.
Yes.
He said Gene was great. He said Gene was fabulous. He goes, but as far as a drummer in his right, it was Ringo Starr. He said he would love to have, and he asked him 4 or 5 times, but they were always too busy to do it. He would have loved to do a duet on the drums with Ringo Starr.
Wow.
Yeah. So just a little trivia information that you didn't know. But Buddy Rich was a fantastic drummer. Also one of the greatest drug addicts I've ever met in my life.
Who? Buddy Rich or Ringo?
No, Buddy Rich.
He ran a very tight ship. Like he was down.
I'm pretty sure
he was downright mean to his band members. Like he
very true.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you know that, but yes.
Well, yeah. I've heard that through the years, but then there is on YouTube. There's audio where somebody recorded Buddy Rich degrading some of his band members during a meeting. Yeah, you can find that on
he's
YouTube
dead now, right?
Yeah, Buddy Rich is dead. Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that, but Buddy Rich said that Ringo was one of the best drummer he's ever heard. He says his rhythm was unbelievable.
Yep, that's what I was saying before. Right, the musicians would talk about the time that Ringo kept. Yeah.
Right.
And I want you to know your so-called friend over here is making fun of you left and right as you're trying to have a serious conversation.
I'm having my own shenanigans.
He can make fun of me all he wants. He can make fun of me all he wants. The bottom line is all the information he's telling you about Joe Cocker, I gave him this morning when he was driving in. So he knew shit about Joe Cocker.
You had no idea who Joe Cocker is?
He was dead.
First of all,
he didn't even know
I
he
don't
was
know
dead.
who John Cocker is. Joe Cocker,
Joe Cocker, he didn't know he was dead.
You didn't even know he was dead?
No. I had to tell him he was
both had
dead.
to laugh because he looked it up.
Oh, so he didn't know either?
He didn't know either.
Oh.
Well,
No, I
he said,
didn't. What do I
think
care
he's
about?
dead.
What do I care about him? I told you what I thought about
Well,
him.
true.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very true.
He said, I think he's dead.
So
He
I
looked
could
it
give a
up.
shit.
He
Yeah.
died at
But
11 years.
he's worth 60. At the time of his death, he was worth $60 million.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No
that's
No
what
kids.
we Googled him.
He never had kids?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, he never had kids. He was married to one girl and never had kids.
So she got all that money?
He was too drunk. He was too drunk. How could he perform? He was drunk 24/7.
Yeah, he was a sloppy drunken man for most of his life. Yes, he was.
I told you, I had him in the Westchester County Theater. We had to break down the door. He
Yes.
almost had a riot, and he came on stage with a pack of Luckies and an open bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yep.
Very classy guy. God rest his soul. I don't want to talk about the dead, but very classy guy.
I love his music, but yeah, it was one of the worst concerts I ever saw.
Yeah, so here's a guy that's dead for 20 years, 25 years, and they're going to give him an award. Oh, yeah, well, he's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Big deal. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no kids, so I guess there'll be nobody accepting the award for. Oh, maybe.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the spouse is dead. All right.
Maybe I'll go there and I'll say, you know, I was sent here by the Cocker family to accept the award.
Yeah, well, you two walk out the stage together because he used to walk like you. You have a reason to why you walk, but he used to walk like that normal. He got 2 legs.
Yeah, too bad Belushi's not around. He used to do that impression on Saturday Night Live, which was fantastic.
Right. You look like you had multiple distances, for Christ's sake.
Yes, it was like he was having a convulsion or something. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was something.
Well,
Classic.
Yeah, and that was part of his shtick, as Kaplan would say.
Yes, that is one of his words. Shtick.
Yeah.
Now he's happy.
All
You
right,
brought him into the
gentlemen.
conversation.
I know.
All right,
about
gentlemen.
time, sitting here.
All right, you have a wonderful show.
Thank you, pal. Nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you, Michael. All right, behave yourself this afternoon. I know what you're going to do, so just behave yourself.
He does?
Being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea.
Carol says Paul Rogers was also the singer for Queen for a few years. Yes, he was. He was a great singer for Queen. A buddy of mine was going to see Queen with Paul Rogers. He had front row tickets at the Nassau Coliseum. He offered me a ticket. I don't remember what year this was, but it was the same night that I think it was season 5 or 6 of The Sopranos was premiering. So I actually turned it down so I could stay home to watch The Sopranos. That was more important to me than going to see Queen and Paul Rogers, which I do regret. Paul Rogers is actually one of my favorite singers. He's been in a million different bands and he's done
Not
solo
better
work.
than Freddie Mercury, though.
No, but he's one of my favorite singers, and I thought he was great in Queen. I think he's better than they have Adam Lambert now. I would take Paul Rogers over Adam Lambert.
I know. I might get heat on this. Adam Lambert. I'm not a great fan of Adam Lambert.
I'm not either.
I think he's got a great voice. I think he's just too much.
He goes for the low-hanging fruit. He's almost hacky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Queen has that song, Fat Bottom Girls. You familiar?
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen them twice with Adam Lambert. At one of the concerts, they do... I moved the headphone to just scratch my ear for a second, and all of a sudden, it's just a big mess here. So so they do that song, Fat Bottom Girls.
Yeah.
They finish right in the middle of the song. Lambert's, strutting on stage, and he goes, "Where's my big-ass bitches?"
Where's my big-ass bitches?
Fat bottom girls. Big
no, I get it.
But that's my point. Like, it's low-hanging fruit. It's hacky.
Yeah.
It's not original.
Especially it's kind of a classic song.
Right. And I'm just like, and that's what he brings it down to. And I don't know, to me, he does his whole show like that. And I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of it. Paul Rogers can sing a phone book and make it good. I thought he was great with Queen. So good for you, Carol, for knowing that, by the way.
I looked up. She's absolutely right about Annie Lennox.
Really?
At the Grammys, Carol, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I just read it really quick, the article. She was all for a ceasefire with the Israeli Gaza Strip thing, right? Hamas.
Okay.
And she was basically against Israel defending themselves.
Really?
So there's a big backlash with Annie Lennox that Israel's defending themselves. They took hostages and they're not negotiating all this stuff.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah.
That's I'm kind of surprised to hear that. Yeah. But that's the thing, and we've talked about it here before, how do you, separate, because a lot of these guys, Milton Berle was a prick.
Yeah.
Groucho Marx was supposedly an asshole. Like, if you do your research on these people, I'm sure you're going to find that most of them were dicks. And, so.
Even Ellen DeGeneres,
Yeah.
That's a newer one.
I knew somebody that worked with her years ago. And this is probably at least 10 years before anything came out, where my friend told me, he said, don't believe anything you hear about Ellen DeGeneres. She is a miserable bitch. I was like, really?
Really?
My friend said, I'm telling you, don't believe any of this hype, that she's this go-lucky, happy.
Right. That was all for show.
Miserable. And then sure enough, years later, it came out. And my friend said, just always walking around like she's mad and was not very nice to people. And sure enough, that came out like 10 years later.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep. And my friend actually said this about, also dead, but said that about Regis. Said he was nicer, but everybody was buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. But wouldn't. But it was all like a facade. Like he would only talk to you if you needed something. Right. Hey, buddy, can you grab that? Hey, buddy, I need this. Hey, buddy, I over here we got to get this. You know, like
it was. He was basically a manipulator.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. Narcissist motherfucker.
Right, exactly. I think Freddie Mercury also goes for the low-hanging fruit. Yeah, okay, you got me.
Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, so shut up, John. Joe Cocker belongs in there. I know, all right, fine, classy act. He carried the bottle of Jack Daniels with him. All right, but he's dead. And he had great music.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
I bet you that how many bands or artists are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that led a very similar life to Joe Cocker?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, you do your research on a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of these people were not the greatest of people.
Right.
You know, and some of them did. Peter Sellers was a prick.
Yes.
Peter Sellers treated his first wife like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Had, I think, 3 kids with her.
Yeah.
Left her and the 3 kids nothing in his will. He left them nothing.
Wow.
This guy was a prick.
Brilliant performer.
Those Pink Panther movies are hysterical. Murder by Death, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like it. So that's the thing. Like you hear about Ellen, you hear about certain people doing certain bad things, but if you do your research, a lot of these guys weren't great people. You know. So right. So do you just take them for what they? You only appreciate them because of the work they do. Which I don't. It probably should be all it is. I appreciate.
You would think
the movie that guy made. I appreciate the work you did as a highway guy.
Right.
I'm not judging you as a highway guy based on,
because the big joke about highway employees is, if you drive down the street, you'll see 5 highway guys leaning on shovels.
Oh well, that's
right?
about any union job or any job like that, any utility job. But no, I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying.
Believe it or not, I did almost 30 years of highway work.
Yeah.
I'm more proud of my Army time.
Well, you should be.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that.
Yeah.
All right, but fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate Groucho Marx because of his movies. I appreciate the service you did. I'm not, and that has nothing to do with you being an asshole in real life. I couldn't wait to get that out.
And I'm looking at you serious.
Yeah. No, well, in all seriousness, no, we're not basing our love of the Marx Brothers based on their personal lives. We don't know anything about their personal lives. We base our love on, we're sitting here talking about Paul McCartney. Most people don't know anything about him.
He's a very private guy.
They know him because of these great songs and how he changed culture with the Beatles. Does it feel like all of a sudden the air conditioning is on?
Let me tell you something. My shins and patellas are ice cold.
My shins and patellas
are ice cold. It is not 70 degrees in here.
Yeah, I mean it shows that it's
about 46 degrees in here.
It shows that the heat is on.
I could see my breath.
No, you can't. It's not that bad. But it is. Yeah, it's weird. Either the heat cut out or we're getting cold air. I don't know what.
There's cold air coming around here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm feeling
There's
it's
like
weird.
Gnomes or goblins down there blowing on our legs. Well, you wouldn't feel it on one leg.
Well, true. Chris Thomas is watching. How many pedos literally writing songs about teenagers? Well, yeah, I mean that too. But I'm not going to that extreme. But
right.
you could go to that extreme too. But I'm talking about just on a human, non-crime, non-piece of shit level. Just talking about how people can just be mean and just not nice people.
Have you ever watched the inductions ceremony?
Oh, sure. I went to one.
Do you have? Obviously, I'm a Bruce fan, so. My favorite induction speech is Bono putting Bruce in.
Okay.
Right? That was a tremendous speech. Do you have a favorite?
Yes. Alex Lifeson, the guitar player for Rush.
Wow.
When Rush was inducted. Now, let me preface it. How many speeches have you seen for any award ceremony where, I like to thank God, I can't believe I got this. Yeah. When I got the call, I said, oh my goodness. And of course, I want to acknowledge all my fellow nominees. Mm-hmm. Like, it's all the same. So Alex Lifeson of Rush.
I can only, okay.
He goes
knowing your personality. Okay.
He goes up to the mic. He's holding his award. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Is that what he did?
Blah, 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. That's exactly what he did.
I would have been on the floor
for probably like 10, 15 minutes. Hysterical. And yes, I was on the floor, laughing my ass off.
That is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, and it's on YouTube. You can see it.
Oh my God!
The whole thing didn't come out of it once till the very end.
He didn't.
Not once. Till the very end, blah, blah, blah.
As soon as they handed him the stat thing?
As soon as it was his turn to talk, blah, 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 from beginning to end. He never said another word. Yeah, the whole speech was hilarious.
That's legendary.
Yep.
I'll have to YouTube that, yeah.
And the guys who, the two founding members of Steely Dan. Steely Dan, by the way, which I've mentioned before, Steely Dan has Hicksville roots, by the way. Their original guitar player is from Hicksville.
Wow.
Denny Diaz.
Great band.
Great band.
Yeah.
The two, but it was started by two guys, Walter Becker and Donald Fagen. And they were the ones who, they were the only two that stayed, the whole time. They've had different members coming in and out.
Yeah.
When they got inducted, they opened up the floor to questions from the audience. Which I thought that was very funny.
Oh,
too.
yeah. You talk about crowd work.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I thought that was very funny. So, those would be my two.
That's nice.
Those are my favorite
awesome.
inductions, yeah. But music-wise, I mean, there's been some amazing performances at these things. Prince playing lead guitar and While My Guitar Gently Weeps when George Harrison got involved.
Prince has to be in.
Prince is in, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. So many great bands were uniting to perform. All right, but let me.
Go ahead. I know we're getting off track.
We have other things to talk about too. So let me finish this up. I'm just gonna name some bands that I think who are not in who should be in.
And then I'd like to run by you someone that I think may be in someday.
Okay.
Well, solo artist.
All right. Chris Thomas, my very good friend who works with a lot of celebrities and never talks too much crap, said Cyndi Lauper was an awful bitch. I've actually heard that.
Oh, really?
I've heard that too.
Wow.
Yeah. Fremder, Bono putting Bruce in. Are you sure you're at the right place? I don't get that.
I don't get it.
But, yeah,
Andrew.
I don't get it. Ellen DeGeneres walking around like she's always mad. I thought they all did that. Oh, Fremder.
Oh, God.
Oh, Fremder. All right. Just a few names of people I think should be in the Hall of Fame. And I do this every year when they announce the nominees because I'm mad these people aren't in. Where the hell is Phil Collins? Phil Collins is in with Genesis, but not in as a solo artist.
It's political then.
Yeah. Huey Lewis in the News.
Wasn't there a thing going around that he had the biggest schwanky in
Huey Lewis?
Music? Yeah.
Yeah, now that you say that, I think I did hear that.
Yeah.
Do you ever see, they actually have, there was a girl, what was her name?
I didn't think they were, I didn't like their music.
You didn't like Huey Lewis in the News?
No.
Really?
Yeah, it was very campy to me.
Some of it is.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. But some of it is just fantastic.
Maybe I didn't listen to enough of it.
I'm with you. The songs, I'm not a big fan of the song Happy to Be Stuck With You.
Yeah.
And Doing It All for My Baby. I'm like,
doing it all for my baby. Yeah.
Those two songs.
They're in?
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. Phil Collins is not in. Huey Lewis in the News are not in.
Right.
The Monkees are not in. It's a big deal for me.
I know it is. I've heard that.
Sammy Hagar, he's in with Van Halen, but he had a
long solo
career before the Van Halen and
incredible musician.
This one you'll agree with. The Stray Cats, they're not in.
They're not in.
They're not in. Boston, how is Boston not in?
Come on. You're shitting me.
I'm not shitting you. Supertramp. You know Supertramp?
Yes.
So many great tunes. Give a little bit.
How are they not in?
Yeah.
Boston is a classic.
Boston's
rock and roll
first
band.
album is basically probably the best debut album by anybody. That album is basically a greatest hits album. Every song
Let
on that
me
album
ask you a question. Is Meatloaf in?
Meatloaf is not in. I will defend that to a certain degree. So
I'd like to hear that because I mean he had one album that was one of the best ever. Yeah.
But that's what I was about to say. It was only if you're going to induct somebody off one album, fine. And it was a massive album, and it's a great album to this day. But it's the only great thing that guy ever did. The rest of his music is pretty shitty, for the most part.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, and I've said it here.
I'm not going to disagree.
I said before, Joe Cocker was one of the worst concerts I've ever seen. Meatloaf was the worst concert I've ever seen.
Really? And
terrible.
And one of the best I've ever seen.
Really?
At the Palladium, God, late 70s.
Oh, yeah?
When he was very big.
And that's when Bad Out of Hell came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I saw him
He
in
had
the
a lot of
mid-'90s at the Beacon Theater.
Oh, you saw him in the 90s after he lost his voice.
It was right around that time. He was starting to lose it at that show. But he kept taking breaks, like 10, 15-minute breaks. And then because he took so many breaks, and then when he did come out, he had a new album coming out. So he's playing almost all this new stuff that nobody knew. And it was so new that he kept forgetting the words that they had to start these songs over again. Terrible. It got to the point. It got to the point. It went so late. At 11 o'clock, he walked off. At 11 o'clock, he comes out, and we're thinking, all right, it's the encore. We're finally going to get the classic tunes. Comes up to the mic. He goes, I'm sorry. He goes, but union rules. We can't go past 11. He goes, I'm sorry. We can't play anymore. I thought people were going to fucking riot. He didn't play Paradise by the Dashboard Light. He didn't play it.
What?
I'm telling you. I thought I was with, this was mid-'90s because I was with my first wife. I remember that. And we split up in 96 or 97, so it had to be mid-'90s. I remember grabbing her hand and saying, we got to get out of here. Because I really thought people were going to storm the stage. Like, people were flipping out. So, yeah, I grabbed her hand and I said, we got to get out of here. And we did. I literally, like, we weren't running, but almost.
Yeah.
And once we got outside, then we were fine. But people were freaking out, man. Yeah, worst concert I've ever seen. Did I say Sting? Sting is not in.
Sting is not in?
He's in with the Police, but he's not in as a solo artist.
Wow.
If you're not familiar with Sting's music as a solo artist, his first 4 albums, there's not a single bad song. His first 4 albums are masterpieces.
Yeah, Sting is incredible.
He's put out good songs since, but full albums, not bad. But his first 4 solo albums are unbelievable. 38 Special is not inducted. Styx is not inducted. REO Speedwagon is not inducted.
Styx was great.
Pete Townsend as a solo artist is not in, which I personally believe he should be. Joe Walsh is not in as a solo artist. He's only in with the Eagles. And Joe Walsh has had a ton of famous songs outside of the Eagles. Another one that Romeo and I have argued about, who's not in, Steve Winwood. Sorry. You're not going to convince me that he shouldn't be there. And he should have been there years ago. He sang Give Me Some Lovin' back in the 60s with the Spencer Davis group. Can't Find My Way Home. He sang that with Blind Faith. Then he had his own band, Traffic. They had a ton of hits. Then in the 80s, he, as a solo artist, Higher Love, Back in the High Life, Roll With It. That man, he's one of the most talented people ever. Now, all right, here's the last person I put on my list. And I don't know if he deserves to be in or not. I personally think he should be. Weird Al Yankovic.
I think he gets in someday.
I think he should be in there.
I think he gets in. because what he does is actually brilliant.
I agree.
It's brilliant.
Puts on a great show.
Puts on a great show. The energy level and just the talent to
right
to write those parodies.
1987, Jones Beach, headlining the Monkees, opening up for the Monkees, Weird Al Yankovic. One of the best shows I've ever seen in my life.
Really?
Loved it. Loved it. Laughing all night long, enjoying all this craziness. I mean, to me, that just makes total sense.
Oh, yeah.
Weird Al and the Monkees. Oh, what a great, fun show that was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they upstage the Monkees?
No, but it was it was pretty damn. They were almost
Wow.
even. Yeah, and that's why it made sense to me because it's all silly and funny.
You got to admit he's a talented man.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. So yeah, so he, in my opinion, he should be in. Frank Walker says Men at Work should be in. All right. Yeah. All right.
Believe it or not, I like Men at Work better than Huey Lewis in the news.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Huey Lewis had, their career lasted a little longer.
Yeah. Yeah.
They had more hits, in my opinion. Men at Work, I mean, same thing as Meatloaf. They only had maybe one big album, but it was very big in the
big.
80s.
Yeah.
Like the whole new wave thing, Men at Work, The Police, Talking Heads, Cyndi Lauper, Devo, like they were a big part of that whole
Flock
new wave.
of Seagulls.
Flock of Seagulls.
I love the Flock of Seagulls.
See, now if they get in, I'm going to scream and yell.
Oh, I know.
They only had that one damn song.
Iran and something else.
I only remember Iran. That's the only one I remember.
Space Age love song.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Oh, there's the heat. Oh, God. We're going to live.
Oh, so I wonder if that's all it was. It maybe
Where's
just
the
wasn't
Celine
on for
Dion
long?
music playing?
What?
Don't you get it?
No.
We're going to live. And we'll go on and on. Wow. That fell flat.
Yeah, sure did. If Sting and B. Arthur got married, her name would be B. Sting.
Is he a comedian?
Oh, no. No. Can't you tell?
But I'd like to know what he does for a living. Is he a writer? Andrew?
He does have a very creative outlet. Yes. He writes scores, like movie scores.
Oh, really?
Not for a living, but that's like one of his side hustles.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're pretty good. I've heard some.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good, actually. We'll have to have him in here on a Wednesday. He actually is a fun guest to have on.
I bet. Yeah.
He's got some wild stories. He's a very good sport about us picking on him with his bad jokes.
Nice.
And he did come in not that long ago on Zach's podcast because he's very big into the whole superhero thing. And he's got like this whole Batman shrine. Like he sent me pictures. It's very impressive. Like he has some like heavy duty, real Batman stuff, like expensive items. It's very impressive. And he knows his stuff. He came in here that day and he knew just as much as Zach and his co-host. Hi, honey.
Hi, good morning, boys.
Good morning. It's Carol Miner.
Oh, hi, Carol.
Hi. Just real quick, what constitutes getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
You have to have at least 25 years since your first recording came out.
Okay, but I'm meaning as an artist. Because there are people in there that I don't think are rock and roll.
I agree with,
Oh, I agree. I mean, that was, there's a lot of rap artists, there's pop artists. I mean, but I mean, I understand it to a certain extent, but I said it before. There's certain people like Mariah Carey when you don't associate as rock and roll.
Then why is it called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? It should be
She's
music.
not in there, right?
She's been nominated. That she's on the list this year for the nominees.
What, for one Christmas song that I hate over and over again?
Yes, absolutely right.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify because it just makes me mad. They should have different ones that are like different Hall of Fames. You want to be like Pop Hall of Fame, like Rap Hall of Fame. Like you're not going to see the Carpenters getting into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
it just, I don't understand. They can have different ones. I think they kind of skew that line of what's rock and roll. And I mean, unfortunately, there really are no good rock bands coming out. Like, you don't hear like new rock and roll, like hard bands coming out anymore. It's all soft.
Yeah, I agree. And it's I mentioned it the other day that even the Grammys, you know, the best rock song, best rock album, like those categories didn't even make it to the actual broadcast. Those categories, the awards were given out before the show even started. And then we talked about it the other day when Jeff was here. You know, Jeff was talking about how he wants to see like the Foo Fighters or somebody do the halftime show. I don't think at the Super Bowl.
That would be awesome.
I don't think we're ever going to see a rock band do the Super Bowl
I
ever
would
again.
love to see the Foo Fighters, Coldplay.
I think rock and roll is it's become like when we were in our 20s and 30s, the way we looked at our parents listening to Sinatra or whatever, right? Like it's become parents' music.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. It's sad to me, but that's where I think it is. But
Yeah. All right. I just wanted to get your take on because it makes me mad every time they put it on. I mean, Styx, which still makes me mad. But their new lead singer, I don't know if they'd ever let Dennis DeYoung come on and let them play all together.
Well, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame would because they only induct certain people. Like Styx hasn't had a single hit with their current lead singer.
No.
But then it's up to Styx if they want to perform with Dennis DeYoung or not. In fact, that's what happened the year that I went.
Journey.
Right, that happened with Journey, but it also happened with Kiss. Kiss wanted their current members inducted as well. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame said no, so Kiss said fine, we're not performing. Yeah, which kind of sucks. Who's not in that you really want to see in there, Carol?
Well, I agree with you. Styx is one of my favorites. I'm a big Dennis DeYoung fan. I even saw him go when he was on tour just by himself, and his backup band. It's funny because two of his guitarists, one looks like Tommy, and the other one looks like James, and they sound like him too. So you're really not missing anything. And then quite a few years before, I saw Styx and what we used to call Rocktoberfest in Florida. And there's no Dennis DeYoung. And it was right when they just broke up and nothing was said about it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? He's the sound. I mean, Tommy's got, a few, and even like Miss America, by James, but anybody can sing that,
Right.
But it's, Dennis DeYoung and the lead singer who they have now was actually singing, and he was like humping his keyboard. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Like this is ridiculous. We walked out.
Wow.
They're one of my top, and Kiss is another one that's on the top. I mean, I got my son into Kiss. Took him to the Kiss concert when they came to Dallas. And it's funny because I was never allowed, I should say, to go see concerts, really.
Yeah.
And it really annoyed me. And now all these people I'm seeing, I've seen Boston. I took Zach to see Boston. First time I saw them too. So first time I saw Kisses with my son, first time I saw a Styx, it's all these things. He's coming and seeing all of these people just as I am.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but Kiss is a big thing for me because, it's like, the sounds of your youth. I mean, Led Zeppelin, let's be honest. I mean, they're just one of the greatest.
Oh, yeah.
And I just love the fact that what's that new group that came out and the lead singer sounds just like him. I can't. They had the song for Ford versus Ferrari. Oh, I can't remember the name.
I don't know.
Sounds like Robert Plant.
Yeah. I don't know.
He sounds like Robert Plant. I mean, their whole sound sounds like Led Zeppelin. God, why can't I remember the name? I can't remember. I bet you Zach knows. Zach, who's the one who sings Ford versus Ferrari's theme song, that group?
Oh, I
know you have it on your phone. He's like my encyclopedia usually. He's not feeling well today. His neck is out. So,
sorry to hear.
But yeah, if I'll text it, but I don't want to hold up your show. But I just wanted to get what constitutes and why these stupid people are in, and it really pisses me off.
I hear you.
Yeah.
You and me both.
It does. All right. You guys have a great day.
Hope Zach feels good.
Okay, thanks, honey.
Bye, Carol. All right.
Yeah, we only have it's for 15.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on because I know you had something.
I have two things to bring up about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
If that's okay. This is your program.
No, absolutely.
I would bet you any amount of money.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga will absolutely be in the Hall of Fame someday.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah,
that
absolutely.
song.
I agree.
Did you listen to that song?
Oh, yeah, that was very good.
Hold My Hand. That might be her best song. That might be her best song. It was a great performance. The way they did it was very dramatic. She's special.
Yeah, I agree.
She's
very talented
special.
woman. Yeah,
and that's another person that she used to dress very strange and
still does sometimes.
But now she. I don't think she really does it anymore, does she?
Yeah, a little bit. What happened?
Nothing.
Oh, so that was your whole...
No.
Oh.
And you probably know this artist.
Lady Gaga?
No. The artist.
Oh.
Her song. She did a Bruce song in a Dove commercial. Did you happen to catch it?
A Dove commercial during the Super Bowl where somebody's doing a Bruce song.
Yeah. It's a black female artist. She plays the guitar and sings. Her.
Oh, she's great.
She is incredible.
What?
Born to Run. She does her version of Born to Run. There's this little girl running down the street, and all she's doing is running down the street. It's a Dove commercial.
Okay, yeah, she wasn't. They weren't singing, right? They were just playing the song.
She was singing. It was her version. It was her version. It's brilliant. If you get a chance,
like it's out there, it's available, or it was just made for the commercial.
It's a Dove commercial. So I didn't even YouTube it because I watched it, and all the E Street people have been reposting it, so I've been watching it. But you probably can YouTube it, yeah. Dove commercial from the Super Bowl.
Right, that's what I'm asking. So it's just the commercial. Like she didn't put this version out on an album somewhere.
I believe she did.
Oh, she did.
She
okay,
did.
that's what I'm asking.
She's done a couple of Bruce covers.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, she's very. I don't know much about her, but I do like her. Yeah, she's very good.
She did the national anthem just with her guitar a couple of years ago.
I remember that.
Like
and it was great.
Yeah, she's talented.
Yes, very much.
Extremely talented.
Yeah, I don't know much about her, but what I've seen, I like. Yeah. I just read this morning,
and I'm just happy the Chiefs lost.
Oh yeah.
Even though I hate the Eagles too.
I really just didn't care. No. I just figured, all right, let's just watch a good game, and I don't care who wins. But then we didn't get that either.
No.
Kendrick Lamar's halftime show turned out to be the most viewed halftime show.
I know, I read that.
And then, I don't know if this is true, but so 133 million people watched just the halftime show. We're not talking about the rest of the game. It's just a halftime show. 133 mil. Supposedly now, this is... the only thing viewed more was the moon landing in 1969.
Are you're telling me the viewership for his halftime show was more than Michael Jackson, Prince, anybody else?
That's what I'm telling you. I'm not sure about the moon landing thing. But
I'm not dissing Kendrick Lamar. I don't listen to his music. My son does, and he says he's brilliant.
Oh, my son too.
I really didn't understand a word he was saying. I'm sorry.
I just thought it was boring.
Yeah.
The halftime show is supposed to be a spectacle. This wasn't a spectacle to me.
Yeah.
This was just a rap performance.
The hip hop performance when the Rams won, it had Eminem and Snoop Dogg and
that was pretty good.
That was different because they had a different array of hip hop artists.
Yes.
I didn't understand the word he was saying. It was very fast. And apparently he's in some sort of battle with Drake.
Right. That's why Serena Williams was there dancing.
Yeah, right.
I did the same thing. I was like, why is Serena, of all people to have dancing in the background, why Serena Williams? And then I find out later.
Yeah.
And I even brought it up on the show the other day. Like, what's with these rap artists battling all the time?
I don't know why they're battling.
And like we didn't have that when we were kids. Our rock bands weren't fighting with each other.
No.
The Led Zeppelin wasn't fighting with the Who. Like,
no.
I don't really get it. But
I'm going to tell you why I was. May I share at this particular moment?
Isn't that why you're here?
Yeah. I am not a fan of Led Zeppelin.
I know you've told me that before.
Did I ever tell you why?
No.
And maybe it's just mental. And I know they were very talented.
It's just I just assumed you're not a hard rock guy, so I just thought that's what it was.
hard rock, like Foo Fighters. I love Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
and I love Rage Against the Machine. I love angry hard rock stuff.
Oh, Van Halen?
Not really.
Okay.
I respect Eddie Van Halen because he's a great guitarist, but I was never a fan of David Lee Roth.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
You were though. Right?
I love the music. I'm not a big fan of David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
I love the music.
I
love Sammy
Van
Hagar. Yes.
Oh,
I love the music they made with him.
I love his voice.
I've met him twice. Super nice guy. Actually, 3 times. I'm super nice guy. Not that I won't go too much on a tangent, but when they were before they hit it big, when they were just starting to get the attention of record labels and managers, somebody actually said to them, "You guys are great, but this lead singer,
yes.
There's this other guy, Sammy Hagar. He just left this other band called Montrose. He's starting a solo career. You guys should get Sammy Hagar." I wish they had Sammy Hagar from the beginning. If they had those songs that David Lee Roth did, but Sammy was singing them, to me, that's the ultimate. That would be amazing. Somebody should do that with AI. Get on it, somebody.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't pick Sammy Hagar. Because obviously he's much more talented than David Lee Roth.
Whether you like the music better or not, you can't argue with Hagar being the better singer. Hagar is a tremendous singer.
Oh yeah.
Still, the guy is pushing 80.
I
He
know.
can still belt it out. It's unbelievable.
Can I tell you my story?
Why don't you like Led Zeppelin?
Well, when I was in junior high and high school, I was in art class, right? And they had BAB on every morning. And I was a very clean, never getting into trouble kid most of the time. And I never smoked pot. And it seemed like all the potheads and they played Led Zeppelin every 5 minutes, right? BAB.
Yeah.
So I always... You all right there? You dying? So I always thought Led Zeppelin was just for potheads. So it turned me off as a young person.
So you were judging the potheads,
I was.
saying, "I'm better than you."
No, I wasn't.
You're just a bunch of burnouts. That was a big word in the 80s. Look at these burnouts.
Yeah.
Smoking their doobies.
They're doobies.
Losers. I'll be
I
over
call
here
them
listening
losers.
to Bruce Springsteen, who is in touch with America. He is Americana. And I'm not getting into trouble because Bruce says not to get into trouble. Bruce says stay in school.
Stay in school.
Work hard. Take care of your mommy.
Don't be an athlete. Be a thinker, not a stinker. It's from a movie, actually. Pretty good, though, isn't it?
No. So that's why you don't like Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, basically. But as I'm aging, I'm getting more of an appreciation for them.
There's a few Led Zeppelin songs that come to my head that I think you would actually like.
I'm sure.
There's one in particular called the Rain Song. I think you would love it, actually.
Wow.
The Rain Song.
Okay.
Do you know and like their song called Thank You?
No, I don't know it. Never
You don't
heard
know it. Oh, okay. If you heard it, you might say, you know what, I think I've heard this.
Okay.
Do you like Stairway? Okay.
And I know it's one of the most classic songs
sure.
ever, yeah.
That's the thing with people. I find a lot of people, they'll say they don't like Zeppelin when it turns out it's more like they're just sick of them. Because, classic rock radio played them like crazy.
To death.
Yes.
Yes.
And, I almost on a daily basis on this show proclaim my love for Billy Joel. I am so sick of Piano Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'd be all right if I never heard the song again.
Yeah.
Great song.
Great song.
Love the song.
Yeah.
I'm just so sick of hearing it.
Yeah.
The Beatles, who are, they're just big. They're big in my life. I think I'd be okay if I never heard Hey Jude again. It's so overplayed.
Yeah.
I'm like, even when I see McCartney in concert, when he goes into Hey Jude, I'm like, but it's a fun crowd pleasing song because then we're all singing at the end. But and especially a music guy like me who always puts on a radio, watches music shows.
Yeah.
So I personally think I hear these things more than
you do.
than some people.
Absolutely.
Chris Thomas, I saw Boys to Men last night. Why?
Yeah.
I went in not being terribly familiar with them. They were awesome. I was supposed at how many hits they had. Oh, surprised at how many hits they had? Wow. Greta Van Fleet. That's who Kara was talking about before. Yeah, I don't know a lot about. I've heard of them. I don't know a lot about them.
Greta Van Fleet is the name of the band?
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard, my apologies, Carl. I should have known that. I've heard other people compare them to Zeppelin. There's another band. If you like early Aerosmith, there's a band called Dirty Honey. These guys are fantastic.
Really?
Yeah, really like these guys. Fremder, great. Well, all right, hang on. All right. Well, basically, Fremder's just saying he used to work at BAB and he had a lot of great times. And I'm going to just leave it at that.
All right.
Yeah, I used to hang out at BAB a little bit. I knew some of those guys. Bob Buckman, to this day, is one of the best DJs ever. I still miss his show. Roger Luce, who's now there in the mornings, but I liked him better when he was midday. Ralph DeTora was a friend. Ralph DeTora, very sarcastic man, but he was a good dude. Fingers was cool. Yeah. I used to know some of those guys.
Man, we're getting old, huh?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're talking about Cyndi Lauper and the BAB. We're talking about the 80s,
You're also looking to see the transition of the Super Bowl halftime shows. Now, I was listening to E Street Radio, like I usually do, and it's going to be in Santa Clara, which is Northern California next year. So there's the Super Bowl.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
I got lost.
So they're saying, what bands would you like? The form of E Street Nation, right? Some people are saying Metallica because they're from that area.
Oh, okay.
But like what you were saying, are we ever going to see a rock and roll band?
Maybe because they're from the area. Maybe.
But there's also a lot of hip hop artists from like that Northern California area.
Oh, is that where like Compton is and stuff?
No, Compton's L.A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that's a big hip hop community. If there's hip hop from that area of California, then I think that's where they'll go. I don't think we're going to see rock acts anymore. It's become
Foo Fighters. The energy of Dave Grohl will make people nuts.
Yeah, I'm not saying I support it, but I just think that's where it's gone. I actually don't like it, obviously, but because it used to be, let's get bands that everybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Now it just seems to be catering to 30s and below. Which, to me that's a shame. That's a shame. McCartney's basically not even our generation, but still, that's everybody. No. Springsteen, everybody at least
knows him. And he wasn't even my top 5, and I love him. I've seen him a million times. He was all right at the Super Bowl.
So I think I might put him in my top 5.
He was good. His energy was great, and plus the band is great. I think I would go Prince, Michael Jackson, U2, maybe Bruce after that. Those are my top 3, though.
Prince is my number 1 too. I thought that was amazing.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that man was.
He still missed. Yeah,
Whew.
Yeah, he was something.
You've heard Bruce do the cover of Purple Rain, right?
I have.
And Nils' solo is incredible.
Yep. That was one thing that bothered me when Prince died. You would think Purple Rain was the only song he ever did, because that's all everybody was doing in tribute.
Yeah.
Clapton did a nice version of it, too.
But he had so many other good songs.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite Prince songs?
Purple Rain.
There's a guy, he does a tribute show called The Purple Experience. This guy nails it.
Come on.
I've seen this guy twice. I've seen him twice.
He's that good of a guitar player?
Yes. And the band is outstanding. This guy, even in between songs, when he's talking to the audience, sounds just like him. This guy nails it. I'm telling you. He plays the Paramount like once a year. I'm telling you, you got to go see him. I've seen this guy twice.
The
He's
Purple
amazing.
Experience.
The Purple Experience. It'll blow your mind. It is fantastic.
You tell me he even sings like him.
Dances around this. He dresses up like him in all different eras of Prince. He dances like him. He's got that weird shaped guitar.
Yeah.
And he's wailing. I'm telling you, it's the closest thing to, without seeing the real guy, this is the closest you'll get. I'm telling you. In fact, there's a guy here that works here who's been in the studio a couple times, Brian Phelan. He's not a comedian, but he does other things here. He used to work with Howard Stern. Even somehow it came up in conversation. He goes to see him every time this guy comes around the town, this area. I forget how it came up, but it came up one day, and I was like, I've seen that guy. He goes, you've seen that guy? Isn't he amazing? And yeah, even the guy just played the Paramount a few weeks ago. Brian called me up. You going? Let's hook up. I was like, I can't make it. I forget what I had going, but I was very upset. I would love to have gone.
Wow.
I'm telling you, this guy.
I'll have to go.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But so the first time I saw him, I couldn't believe he did it. There was this one song. It's not a hit. And I remember Lisa just being shocked. The song is called Pussy Control. That's the name of the song.
Yeah, I know the song.
Do you know that song?
I do. Yeah.
And I just love the song, and it makes me laugh the way he sings it. Like he sings like the chorus in like an operatic voice. I love the song. Yeah, this guy did Pussy Control.
He did.
And I couldn't, when he first started playing, I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, it sounds like Pussy Control. And he starts singing the lyrics, and I was like, holy shit. Then he got to the chorus.
How's the band around him?
I'm telling you, they're all phenomenal. Phenomenal. Oh, I mean, you got to be good to pull off Prince music.
Prince? Yeah.
I'm telling you, these guys are top notch, man.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. If Springsteen was in a terrible accident, he'd be Bruce Stringbean.
Cricket.
I think I have crickets. Oh, there they are. I should just put that on every time I read a friend or comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to do that from now on.
That's funny.
Time to go, but before we do,
I want to say something.
Yeah, you had something about the military you said you wanted to talk about.
The military?
You said that earlier, and I said, yeah, let's hold on to that because I had a military thing too.
Well, everything's about politics. It's 12:30.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's do it.
And one of the reasons I ran 2 years ago, because I wanted to try to make a little history in Brookhaven so people would know that you have to, when you go to vote, you have to pick the right person, right? And I'm not against Trump or for Trump. This has nothing to do with really a political statement. So, but he did name Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
He went to Germany.
Pete did?
Pete did.
Okay.
And he got booed and heckled by the soldiers.
When was this?
Yesterday.
I didn't hear anything about this.
I read the article yesterday.
Yeah.
And
wow.
Why this bothers me is if you were president, or if I was president, or Carol Miner was president,
I'd vote for Carol.
I would vote for Carol. You have to put people. This really annoys me because I did 2 combat tours.
Yeah.
Now, if there was a defense secretary, and there was a lot of issues, irregardless of the military, right? But the defense secretary is getting booed. You're talking about lowering morale in the military, because you have to put people, not because they're Republican or Democrat or liberal, whatever, the best person for the position. And I don't believe he's the best person. You can't put someone that's going to go to Germany and be with the troops and get booed.
Oh, so you're not blaming the troops for booing. You're
saying
absolutely
not.
Oh,
I would have booed as well, because when you join the military, you have to act like a soldier.
Right.
They train you to live the rest of your life as a soldier. There was a lot of accusations that he didn't run his life like a soldier.
Was he a military guy?
Oh, he did 2 combat tours in Afghanistan. Yes, he's a decorated war veteran. He was a door kicker. He did a lot of great. Yeah.
Oh, I had to think about that for a second. What a door kicker meant. Okay,
and,
I got it. Wow.
You know how much I don't know, but he did 2 combat tours.
All right. So with that in mind, then why is he not, in your opinion, a good choice, or why are these people booing him? If he's a military
you have
guy,
to have a stellar record.
And he doesn't?
No, because he had so many accusations. He paid off a woman $50,000 because she alleged sexual some sort of sexual thing.
So he settled with her.
Well, he gave her $50,000, I guess, because he didn't want it to come out. I don't know. You know. Well, think about it. Why are the troops booing him? Why?
That's what I'm asking you. I don't know.
Because they don't trust him. Because he didn't treat his life or his wife or his whatever like a real soldier. Like, do I make mistakes? Yes, but no one's perfect. But I tell people in my life, you, my son, my grandkids, you know, Jennifer, this is how I act because that's how the Army taught me to act. I'm really fired up about this. How there's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, and the defense secretary is getting booed by the people that are going to have to go into battle. It just goes to show you. I don't understand why people they vote for people that aren't going to pick the right people. And this is not. I'm trying to be very careful here because it's not an anti-Trump statement. It's a statement about who you vote for that you know is going to put people in the right spots. Because right now, Trump has done nothing for the VA. Oh, here I go. It's not an anti-Trump thing. It's not.
It's fine.
It's not.
And this is what I like about it. Because there's so much, I think, that gets lost with Trump. People find the nitpicking things, the things they can nitpick on. And honestly, I don't think his tweets are the way a president should be acting. But at the same time, my feeling is also, all right, it's just a stupid tweet.
Yeah.
Can we just move on?
Yeah.
So what I like about this, let's criticize the president, no matter who it is, for the right reasons.
Right.
We can also talk about the great things he's done. Not every president does. You're not going to agree with every single thing they do.
You're right.
And Trump, like even when he was in office last time, that woman that he had as the Department of Education, that blonde-haired one with the glasses, I forget her name.
Oh, I forgot her name.
But she had no education experience.
Right.
She made a mess. And it's not an anti-Trump thing. It's just a fact. Like, hey, pal, you didn't pick the right person.
Right.
Hey, you know what? We can sit here for another 2 hours and talk about things that Biden did wrong.
Right.
But
yes, exactly.
But we're talking about something that just happened, and it just happens to be Trump.
Yeah.
I will. What bothers me about them booing, I've told this story before. I can't remember who it was, but somebody, some friend, went one time to West Bay Music Fair to see Bill O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly, known to be a staunch Republican, and this is when Obama was in office, and he mentioned his name. He said something about President Obama, and the place erupted in boos. Now this is a Republican, Bill O'Reilly. He put his hands up and he stopped him from booing, and he said, "Hey, that's your president you're booing."
Yes.
That and that's kind of what I feel has kind of is gone. The respect for the office, and again, Trump doesn't always act like a president should.
But my statement was not an anti-Trump statement.
No, it's not. No, I get that.
It wasn't at all.
I get that, but it's still. But that's why I brought it up. But should we still be respecting the title that he has that they shouldn't be booing? Or is he not or is he not or is it different because he's like I'm saying, we shouldn't be booing the president. We should be respecting that office more. Is it the same for somebody in his position or no?
In Pete Hegseth's position, that's a good point. Because he's the leader of the military of all 4 five branches.
I'm thinking. I mean, that's why I asked the question, because that's how I see it. But I'm seriously asking, because I'm not saying that I'm right about it. I know nothing. Very little about the military. I've
you're
never
playing
served.
the devil's advocate, and you have a point.
I wouldn't boo the guy. Like you said, not my pick. I wouldn't boo the guy that beat you. I wanted you to win, of course, but to me that's a big problem of society for several years now.
Yeah.
There's no respect for authority. There's no respect for people, elected officials, people that are, in certain positions. And I do think that's part of the problem. And people are too busy nitpicking, trying to find something to criticize instead of just sticking to
the
issues.
It's true because the Desert Storm was George Bush Sr. So I did have I went to war under a Republican president, and I went to war under a Democrat president. And I won't talk about it now, but there was a vast difference.
Really?
There was a vast difference, yes.
That's very interesting to me.
It is very interesting, yeah.
All right, so maybe next Wednesday, then let's try to remember to get into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love to hear that.
Yeah.
Again, a guy who's never served and doesn't know a lot about it. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's really wild. Yeah.
Now, all right, so we have to go, but I just want to ask this one last question. So these guys were booing him last night. So now, but these guys are, like you said, you served under a Republican president. You served under a Democratic president. But will it affect? Like, will these guys not go the extra mile? Will it change anything they're doing, or will it? What effects will it have if the military doesn't respect? They're the guy in charge.
Well, if you're trained properly, you're gonna lead your life in a militaristic way, the way you were trained. Regardless of who's in charge. Okay, I guess just at the moment they would like, we don't like this guy. We don't like him as our leader. And you could say a lot of things. That's a whole nother conversation that you're allowed to even boo someone.
Well, true. Yes.
As a soldier, I wouldn't have booed because I just lead my life a certain way. And you have a great point, Tony. You do have a great point. No, I don't think anything will change. They'll do their job as they're trained to do.
Which is the main thing.
If they're forced, if they're told to go into battle, I think they'll do the job.
Right. So it's just opportunities like that where they can make a statement.
For some reason they boot him because they don't trust him.
Similar to cops will turn their back on the mayor at a press conference, but they're not.
Right.
But they're still doing their job. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Because you have to have faith in your leaders.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and it can't be blind faith because that'll get you killed too.
Wow, you just stole my thunder.
Oh, sorry.
Because that's a great line.
Who said it?
Bruce Springsteen.
That is exactly where I got that line from.
But he didn't say that as an anti-government song. He's really saying like how I'm saying it. You have to have faith in your leadership.
You have to have faith in your leadership. But you also, and this goes with anything, you have to be educated.
Yes.
And that's, honestly, that's a big reason why I don't get into politics very often on this show.
I know. Oh, my God, because it's a rabbit hole that you could go down.
And I'm not qualified to go down that rabbit hole. I've had people criticize me, and they assume I've been a part of conversations where people are praising Trump and talking about Trump and this, and I'm sitting there all quiet. So that because I'm quiet, they're assuming that I'm against Trump, and I'm not.
Right.
And they get on me, and I shoot back. I say I'm not talking because I'm not educated. I personally believe the general public, has no clue what's really going on behind those closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
I really do, and I don't feel they were even qualified. And I'm not knocking them. They're very educated people. They know more than I do about politics.
Yeah.
But that's just my personal feeling that we don't know everything, and I don't know more because I can't, especially these days. with all right, let's go the opposite direction. I don't hate Trump. He's not my first choice for president, but I don't hate the guy. But I actually did enjoy how at the Super Bowl, when they showed him on the screen, the stadium erupted. They went nuts. They were cheering for him. And there was a part of me that was happy about that. The whole thing with Trump and Obama and Biden, like the constant bickering and the division that it's caused around those three presidents, like it was just a relief to hear our president getting cheered. Whether, let's say Biden won the election and he was at the Super Bowl, I would like him to get cheered too. I don't personally believe that would have happened, but I just, there was almost a relief. Like, can we get back to normal? Like when George, the son Bush, was president, we all thought those were crazy times. I would love to go back to that. Things were so much more normal compared to what it's become since.
Yes.
So that's what I mean. That was almost a relief. Like, finally, our president is getting cheered. Like, maybe we're starting to get away from the constant bickering and the constant tweets. And honestly, I'm tired of Jimmy Kimmel. Like, every night, most of his monologue is against Trump. Like, Jimmy, go back to comedy, man, because your show has suffered in the past few years. It's not as funny as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just.
He is a funny man.
I'm just tired of it all.
I'm tired of the division too, and it's not going to end anytime soon.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No. I think it's going to take a very special president, a president that's down the middle and that will actually come out. And this is, I'm not getting on a high horse here. Someone that's going to say, I'm going to pick someone for this job, someone for that job, and one's a Republican, one's a Democrat, one's a liberal, one's a whatever.
Yes.
I'm going to put people in the right spot just to do the right job.
Not that
excuse me.
Not that he was the greatest president. I mean, he wasn't a bad president, but Ronald Reagan. He did stuff like that.
He did.
And again, whether it was effective or not was a completely different story. Yeah. It's just the fact that he tried, in my opinion, he tried to keep both parties happy. He didn't do things solely because that's what the Republican Party wants.
Right.
Like, in my opinion, he looked at the actual issues.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree. I do hope and feel like things are starting to at least calm down a little bit. But there are still the people nitpicking with Trump. But I agree. I do think there's a guy, and again, whether a great president or not is a whole different story. But like Bill Clinton, when Clinton first came out on the scene in the early 90s, I mean, that guy wowed everybody. He had charisma. He had a good smile. He was funny. And he wowed I mean, that's how he won. And he even, and then he, he's the first person to go on MTV, and had a Q&A with, hipsters, so to speak.
Yeah.
A guy like, and again, whether a good president or not is another thing, but a guy with that kind of swagger, that kind of charm, who everybody was just like even Republicans, when Clinton ran, you just knew he was going to win. You just knew it.
Yeah, there was no. Yeah.
Same thing. So I agree with you. Somebody can just kind of swoop in and get us back to some kind of normalcy. So, all right. Thanks for going a little late with us today. Hope you didn't mind.
Sorry, I went on a little diatribe.
No, that was fine. I liked it. All right, so we're going to get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Today is Wednesday, so we got Circling the Drain tonight at 7 o'clock. Coffee with the Dog tomorrow morning at 11. Me and Frank will be here tomorrow Coffee with the Dog tomorrow morning at 9. Me and Frank will be here at 11 o'clock. We have guitar player Naso. Is that his last name? Forgive me, I forget his name. But he'll be with me and Frank tomorrow. Sports Bash tomorrow at 1. And that'll do it. So keep it locked to Gov's Comedy Club podcast. Again, please share the link to our shows. Tell everybody you know about all the great shows that we have here. And, of course, at the club, we got a lot of great stuff happening at the club this weekend. Ismo playing the club, the main club, Friday and Saturday.
Ismo,
he's great. He's great. Wow. He's from Finland. Very funny. Don and I will be here Saturday night. Ismo did call in a few years ago to this show, so we're hoping to grab him. But we got a lot of great comedians playing in the Giga Room Saturday night. Joe Curry is in there, Linda Marcus Smith, Harry Friedman. So hopefully we'll get some people in here to hang out with me and Don. Terry McNeely is another comedian you'll see playing. I think he's playing McGuire's with Lou Pratts and Billy Geyer. Teddy Smith is playing McGuire's this weekend. The Brokerage, Keith Anthony is playing. I think it's Friday. Keith Anthony is amazing. Also playing the Brokerage. Playing the Brokerage on Saturday, but will be here at Governor's tomorrow night in the main room. Our pal Tom Kelly. Tom Kelly, who you see in the opening credits of this show every day when he's on his knees underneath the table. Great guy, very funny comedian, a good friend of the show. There is a chance, so you can see him tomorrow night at Governor's here on the main stage. You can see him Saturday night at the Brokerage. And chances are pretty good that he'll be joining me and Rosie on Friday. I don't know if it'll be for the whole show. I think it's just for part of it. I'm not even sure if he's actually coming in. It might end up being on Zoom. But either way, it looks good like Tom will be joining us, so that'll be fun. Also playing the Brokerage this weekend, Chris Lamberth. No, I think that's McGuire's he's playing. So go to govs.com, find out the full schedule and what's happening, and get yourself some reservations to a bunch of great comedy shows. Don't forget, Friday night, Islip Terrace Fire Department. You can see Knockem Dead Comedy performing one of our fun murder mystery shows. Audience interactive comedic murder mystery shows. We're doing our mob theme show. It's a fun night out for Valentine's Day. So come on down and join us. It's going to be fun. And then at the end of February, you can catch us doing our 80s themed show at Cafe Spiga, which is, I think, Miller Place or something. I forget. It's out there somewhere. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com and find information on how you can hire us for your event, and then hire us. Okay, and I think that's everything. All right, we're out of here. Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Lovely as always.
That was pretty creepy. All right, enjoy your Wednesday, and hopefully be careful. If it snowed, and hopefully if it gets wet and ices up later or something. So just be careful out there. I think the snow's supposed to be gone tomorrow. It's supposed to rain and be like 50 degrees tomorrow.
Yeah, but all weekend it's supposed to be nasty. Snow, rain, sleet.
Oh, is that right?
Tornadoes, yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, flying dogs.
All right, so be safe. Goodbye.